Chat wasn't making me talk about disturbing things just now. Let's start a Gungeon run and forget what we were talking about. Well, we're talking about Dead by Daylight, which is Halloween themed, so we can carry on that conversation, just not the other stuff is all. That was good timing. Thank you, Lord Kronos, for 25 months in a row with Twitch Prime. Welcome back. Your Twitch Prime may not be ready yet, but it may be soon, so consider doing what Lord Kronos did and use it here. You want to be one of the cool kids, don't you? Don't want to be a nerd. One of the unpopular nerds, not the popular nerds. Because popular nerds are a thing. At least around here they are. Everyone's getting all wet over everyone being nerdy. Because they spit, because they have a lisp. That wasn't meaning they got wet anywhere else. If you thought different, that says more about you than it does me. In theory. Thank you, Lost Compass, for the bits as well. Went to a nearby town and I found a store called Flik's Home Entertainment. Was it actually spelled with a CK? Because I can one-up you. A few people on Twitter over the years have sent me FLIK named or branded like utensils and shops and restaurants. Although now that you've said that, I don't think anyone ever sent me an FLICK one. So that could be a first. But it's a case of like Pixar didn't happen. YouTube support in Twitch Prime form. Don't worry, I'm doing occasional videos for YouTube, but mostly it is just like Twitch stuff. I'm using it as an archive. I wish I was streaming when YouTube went down the other day there, because apparently it was fantastic for viewership for all the people streaming. YouTube went down for like, what, 4 hours? I think it was around about midnight my time that it happened. The world experienced a world without YouTube for a 4-hour window, and who would have guessed it? There was good alternatives. Some people even went outside. How does this even work again? Manual explosion. I'd rather just have the Molotov, I think. Yeah, YouTube has a place in terms of like... Well, it is an archive. Not even just for Twitch stuff, just in general. It's an archive of videos to watch when you need something to distract yourself with. That's the one thing live streams can't necessarily offer you, especially if Twitch is blocked on the network that you're currently on. It's the skull splitter, that's the one. Spitter. But I have absolutely no motivation to make specific YouTube content. YouTube has successfully killed my interest in the platform. There are some things that I can't do on stream that I still do for YouTube. Like the unboxing of the Pokemon stuff, which you'll be seeing tomorrow, I think? If not tomorrow, then definitely the day after. I think I tried to aim it for a weekend. And the occasional Let's Look At, because I don't really like doing live first impressions. I like to spend my time not talking while doing it. Well, no, that's not always true. It depends on the game type. If it's very story heavy, I'd prefer to play it in my own time. Like Odyssey is very... Well, it's very everything heavy. There's too much stuff to do. Quantity over quality a little bit. You're on data again? Don't do it to yourself. Sounds like your Wi-Fi might be having some problems. Something spawned. Where is it? Oh. Where did the arrow didn't show up sooner? Keyboard keeps on pushing in. There we are. You've abandoned YouTube for the moment? I would love for nothing better than it to retake off, but I don't see that happening, honestly. I think it's on a downward spiral. Not just my content, but the site as a whole. Am I going to stop completely uploading videos to YouTube at one point? No, I'll still be uploading stuff I've recorded on stream, but I will probably eventually stop recording stuff for it.
Ooh.
Because it's just... when the system is your enemy, why would you work within the system? It's like willingly playing a board game when you know the rules are rigged against you. That doesn't inspire hope. Or faith. Hope and faith are the two things you need to succeed on YouTube. That and a good idea, I guess. Or an original idea. And it's hard to have those when it feels like the system itself is your opponent. And it's rigging the game against you. Thank you, Blake, for the other bits. Can't wait for unboxing on YouTube. Are you very into ancient Pokemon memorabilia that's mostly playing cards? Or trading cards, rather? There was some... Oh, got stuck on the table. Because you don't shove tables anymore. Unless they're flipped. Because of a new skidding thing. I think there are still some good ideas to be found for YouTube channels. But none of them that are in my area of expertise. If it can so be called. I'm pretty good at games, and I'm pretty good at critiquing games, kinda. That's really where my two strengths are. Ooh. Yes, this is better. But I hate editing, I hate clickbait, and those are anti-YouTube. You need to do those things to even have a chance, and even if you do those things, it's still no guarantee. I'd rather not go down the road of complaining about YouTube again, because if you like, I've definitely learned this the hard way. Even if your complaints are just, if you complain about something enough, people will side against you just because they're sick of hearing you talk about it. Like case in point, getting stuck on corners in Gungeon. Making the channel solely for Sora stuff. I don't know how to cook. We'll use the Skull Splitter. What I really wanted to talk about was Making a Murderer Part 2, which is what I've been watching all day since I went to Netflix this morning after doing my email checking and comment checking and uploading. It's like, oh, guess what's live? Making a Murderer Part 2. And I was like, oh, I knew it was coming out, so it's like the first episode. No, it's the whole goddamn thing. So another 10 parts of an hour long each. So I've got 2 3/4 left to go. I wanted to watch all of it before talking about it, but much like the first season, it's captivating, but in a very different way. So I don't remember if it was during Gungeon that we talked about Making a Murderer Part 1. I have a feeling it was Isaac. So quick recap of Making a Murderer Part 1. A guy got wrongly convicted of rape, spent 18 years in prison before he was proven innocent by DNA evidence, and they caught the real killer, or not the real killer, sorry, the real rapist. He sued the police department that wrongfully imprisoned him because they just didn't like him, so they assumed he was guilty. And during his suing of them, he was charged with the murder of a lady and found guilty and sent to prison for life. And the series basically ended with him failing all his appeals, his lawyers giving up on him, and him rotting away in prison. And his 16-year-old at the time accomplice also being in prison until 2043 or something. Even though the only thing that convicted him was his own confession, which was brought out under duress. He was tricked into giving his confession in a very depressing, badgering police interview. Hello, K4. Good he rot? No, you see, that's the thing. During Making a Murder Part 1, it becomes very clear that the 16-year-old's confession is forced out of him by police. And it is also made abundantly clear that the police faked evidence to guarantee a conviction. It is massively clear that they did that. However, my feelings at the end of watching Season 1, as I've said before, were I do think he did it, or I did think he did it at the end of watching Season 1, however, were I on the jury, I would still vote not guilty because there's too much reasonable doubt, and you have to be sure. So although I would have thought he was guilty, I would have said not guilty because of a lack of evidence, if you ignore all the very clearly faked evidence by the police. And the original defense team were able to prove that a lot of the stuff was faked. They couldn't exactly work out how, but the interesting part is what the second season is dealing with is a post-conviction pro bono lawyer who does a lot of these high-profile cases where she just digs into these people who have been wrongfully arrested for crimes they didn't commit. She finds proof that will set them free. And she's doing it pro bono, which means free, as far as I'm aware. free until at least she gets them out. And the angle for the second one is she just looks into everything and discovers so much that went wrong. And what I wasn't expecting is she doesn't just try and find ways to prove that her client is innocent. She tries to answer the other obvious questions, like if he is innocent, who did it? And she finds a lot of problems with what the original defense team did. Their hands were tied at the time. They were not allowed to accuse anybody else of the crime. They could only defend their client. I don't remember the reason why. But she wasn't bound by that, so she looked into who else could be responsible, and she actually finds and accuses somebody. And she also basically discovers that either from a lack of funding or just not using forethought, the defense did not bring up enough specialists to counter the prosecution specialists, so basically proved that everything they had was bullshit and set up. And it gets more interesting because it seems like, again with 2 episodes to go, so who knows how this is going to turn out, but it seems with 2 episodes to go, the police were accidentally working in cooperation with the real killer to set up this one guy. The police didn't like him. They were sure they had him because of evidence planted by the killer. So then they planted more of their own evidence to guarantee the conviction. Hang on, I'm just debating whether I want to open all chests for free or take an invincibility. I'll open all chests for free. Yes, Netflix. So this lady is super thorough. She basically just goes through every single bit of evidence the prosecution provided, going to real specialists and saying, hey, is this right? And they all say no. And she doesn't just take their word for it, which is what the prosecution were doing. She tests everything. She tries to recreate literally everything. I've forgotten what the turkey does. That'll do though. So she really, actually, what's very nice is when the very first interview with her, she says when she goes to a client, she tells them, look, if you're actually guilty, then the dumbest thing you could ever do is let me take your case because I will prove you're guilty. So she doesn't care in that regard. If she finds out that her client is guilty, then fine. But she is just more and more sure that he's innocent. To the point where I now believe he is innocent as well, because she doesn't just say, no, he didn't do it. No, the police planted evidence to ensure a conviction, yes, but the murderer set him up as well. And I think she might be right about who the murderer is as well. If not the person she's directly named, then his friend. And that's pretty shocking. That all it took was a little bit more work in talking to the right specialists and then doing your own testing to prove that your specialists are right and the prosecution's is wrong. What is this from? So I definitely I still recommend watching the first season, but then it is very interesting going into the second series, which is like, well, it's into 2017, so stuff that's happened as early as last year. I must admit, because I still had 2 and a bit episodes to watch and I knew I had the stream to go to, I was like, I'm just going to go check this lady's Twitter account to see if she kind of spoiled how it ends. But she hasn't. She says that it's still like the beginning of the fight, so I don't know. What's really sad though, like, I'm more interested in what happens with this guy who's already been wrongfully imprisoned once, but it dances between him, whose is definitely the harder case, and the case of the guy who was 16 at the time. Like, he has different lawyers representing him on the grounds that he was 16, he's got a double-digit IQ, he has learning difficulties, and these 2 FBI agents convinced him he did a crime, even though he didn't do a damn thing. And it's them trying to fight through the appeals to get his prison sentence commuted, is that the word? Like, done? Although he's been in prison from the age 16 to, what, 28? Which is ridiculous. But what was frustrating about his little journey is that they get the right to either let him out, do the case again, or do the trial again rather, or I can't remember what the third option was. And then they petition that during this time for a second trial he get released on bail because he's not a flight risk, he's not a danger to anyone. And then this new prosecution, because the old prosecution got sacked for sending sexual texts to a client he was representing who was an abuse victim, I believe, because he's a really stand-up guy, apparently. This other prosecutor just will not let the kid get out at all and just keeps on filing complaints and notions to get him tied up in the court so he can't get back out to his family for Thanksgiving, for Christmas. It's pathetic and sad. And then it goes to like the 7 high courts or whatever the hell it is for America. And then that ties them up for like half a year while they make their decision on that. And they keep on talking to the victims of the family, and they apparently want this kid to rot in jail. Because even if everything he originally said, even though he was badgered into it, was true, he didn't do the crime. Assuming he was telling the truth, which he isn't. But if he was, all he did was witness a crime. He didn't get involved. So why they're so vitriolic towards him, I don't understand. The other guy, if they genuinely think he did it, I get it. But that kid, I do not understand how they can be like such monsters. And it's clear as day to anybody who watches that interview with that kid that the cops tell him the story that he tells back to them. There is no doubt. Nobody could look at that interview and think, yeah, he's admitting to a crime he committed. No one could. And thankfully, like, so far it's shown some of the interview with like the 3 High Court judges that reviewed the case. 2 of them were immediately like, well, he's definitely being led on. The third one was being a bit more stubborn, which made me question his intelligence, honestly. Maybe they don't like him because of his IQ. Maybe, I don't know. And thank you, Cyber Canadian, before we continue with this for 5 months in a row with Twitch Prime. What is this? Snowball bullets? Yeah, that's one. Interruption sub. It didn't interrupt me, kinda. Well, I just use that, yeah. I enjoy it because I can get passionate behind it, but it's passionate, like, based in anger. I got annoyed at that High Court judge because he was acting like, no, he's not being coerced. A man in that position of power, watching that, could not possibly believe that he was not being coerced. Every bit of the story was led on by the FBI agents, and then he guessed what they wanted to hear. And then when he didn't say what they wanted to hear, they got angry and shouted at him and convinced him to say the thing they needed him to say to convict him. It's very, very sad. But so far, I mean, it's done a good job. Like I said, I thought the guy was guilty, but there wasn't enough evidence. Now I think he's entirely innocent, and he got framed by 2 different people who accidentally worked together, or 2 different bodies that accidentally worked together. Which is even more shocking. Like, the cops accidentally working with a criminal. And that's the other thing, the horrible prosecutor from the original case that got sacked for trying to have sex with an abuse victim he was representing. He writes a book, so, you know, he's just trying to cash in on it. Spreading lies, etc. The original defense lawyers went on tour to do, like, speeches about the case. So they're cashing in on it as well. It's like everybody is cashing in on this guy and his kid cousin or however they're related getting sent to prison for the rest of their lives. And it's pathetic. The start of Season 2 also addresses Season 1 and the reaction it got. A lot of people calling it biased because certain evidence wasn't mentioned in the documentary, like, for instance, there wasn't just blood found on the car this lady was apparently murdered in. There was saliva, and like, how could the police plant saliva? Well, the lady in Season 2 discovers how it was faked and proves that there's too much DNA to have been a natural source. The police swabbed it with some of the DNA they took from the guy. So they address the controversy of, or the bad habit of documentaries, like for instance anything Michael Moore's ever done, of being one-sided because the person who made it believed one thing and they decided to make that the thing they showed. I don't feel that was the case here, but at least they addressed it. Like, they showed protesters on both sides. Like one person screaming at the top of their lungs, because that's what you Americans do when you protest. Like, don't let Netflix decide what you think. Like, I don't think the first season was manipulative. It did focus on the defense because the defense is more interesting. And also the prosecutors were disgusting sleazeballs. Hello, Supernova. Hello, Gusky. Yeah, it does sound like the American justice system. It's a mystery. I did learn something else, though, thanks to this Season 2. I didn't realise that there is a new version of the polygraph test. Polygraph test is a lie detector test, for anyone who isn't aware. And I don't know, apparently in America it can still be accepted in court cases. In the UK, at least, it's not admissible to court because there's too much margin of error. And it can be beaten, it can give false positives, etc. There's a whole bunch of reasons why a lie detector test is not credible. But there's a new version of a lie detector test where your brainwaves are scanned. And she points out, like, I'm going to tell the accused, the person who's serving time, that this is 100% certain, that it will definitely guarantee to me whether he is lying or not, because we're reading his brain, not his sweat, not his palms, not anything like that. So if he is actually guilty, he's going to believe that we're going to find that he's guilty. So she set him up, essentially, to help prove his innocence, because he's also not of particularly high intelligence. So she convinces him this is a test that's 100% sure to prove whether or not he's lying. And he says, yeah, absolutely, do it right now. And they do it, and it proves that he's innocent. He knows absolutely, or at least it proves that he knows nothing about the killing. And that was very compelling, not because I trust that this test is as reliable or more reliable than a stereotypical lie detector test, but because she cons him into thinking that it's 100% real, so he believes it's real, and still is willing to do it. Like she says herself, he exhibits no traits of a man who is guilty. He wants everything done to try and prove his innocence. And that's the moment where I kind of thought, oh, I actually think I was wrong and that he didn't do it. And then that just got stronger when she found the motive of the person who I think actually did it. And I really hope he is the one who ends up in jail at the end of it, but I don't think it will be, because I think the Milwaukee Police Department do not want to get sued for even more millions after they sent the same person to jail for a crime he didn't commit twice. Ooh, good gun. And can you imagine that? Spending 18 years in... Sorry, I said that very Scottish, like 18 years in prison for a crime you didn't commit, only to get out and get framed for another crime and spend another 10 years in prison for a second crime you didn't commit. I'm honestly amazed he hasn't killed himself. Like, there's some moments in the first season where he implies that he's considering doing it. But then holding on to hoping that the truth will come out is what kind of keeps him alive. And thankfully the other one is just... He's so simple, I don't think he particularly minds being in prison. But it's still sad, because he's had his childhood stolen from him. Yes, don't make fun of me, I went briefly Scottish. I hate when that happens. 18. Because I remember saying that after I watched the documentary The Staircase, which was about a different thing entirely, I was much more invested in that one because I could tell very early on that this guy was innocent. In Making a Murderer, I was captivated, but I didn't feel sorry for him, the main guy, because I thought he was guilty. And now I feel bad because as much as I despised the sleazebags on the prosecutor's side for faking evidence, I was still like, well, yeah, they faked evidence because they're just desperate for a conviction, but they're still technically doing the right thing because he's guilty. But no, they weren't. This room looks like a pair of breasts. You got to play with the brain detector one time at a tech show? With just practice you can still lie to it? Yeah, again, that's why things like lie detector tests are not admissible here. But the compelling part, again, was that she convinced him that it was 100% accurate. So it didn't need to be 100% accurate All that it needed to do, or all she needed to do, was convince him that it was, and she'd believe him. That was the compelling part. So yeah, I would say definitely go watch it. That's what I'm going to be doing after the stream. I'm going to go finish watching it. Probably get very angry and very sad by the end of it. Because I imagine if he had been freed, people would know about it by now. Of all the places in America to be like that corrupt, I would not have placed Milwaukee high on that list. But then when you've got somebody who has a legal case against you for millions and millions of dollars, I suppose that does make you do things you might regret. I'm going to have to end up buying health here because I've been focused so much on what I'm talking about. I'm getting hit quite a bit. I haven't found the shop yet though. No. You just like shows like that because it proves how low and bad humans can be. I agree with you on that level. But unfortunately things like this have to be brought to light so that innocent people can get their freedom. Even if it takes forever. Like a big sticking point of I guess in terms of like documentaries being manipulative, this is part of season 2 that I would definitely agree with. It does focus a lot on his mother and father who are they're like early 80s now, so a big part of it is like, are they going to be alive when their son potentially gets out of prison? Maybe, maybe not. So they're all pushing to try and get it before one of them dies. It's not necessarily likely that they will, but they're still trying. So I'd say that's the slightly manipulative bit. But I don't know, maybe it is manipulative, maybe it's not. It's just, it's obvious if you think about it. Like, he's been in prison in total for like 20-something years. Obviously his parents have been getting older, because he's in his 50s now. Oh, actually, yeah, on the lady's Twitter, when I was checking it before the stream, the younger kid who was 16 at the time is 29 now. I went briefly Scottish there again. 29. Please give me a key vendor so I can actually spend some of these keys. I remember this room from the last time we had, and I know I don't like it, so that's why I used the bear gun to clear it. Oh, why didn't I use that? Oh, whatever. Ooh. Nanomachine sound. I thought that was the synergy chest, but there was no synergy there. You don't think there's a need for me to apologise for going briefly Scottish? Maybe. Now let's see. Heroin or spam? I think spam's probably still better if it's a big boss. Well, yeah, it's probably still better. Don't know if it's better or worse depending on how far away he is, but at least I can take out the spawns. Oh, where did you come from? Phew, that was close. I don't think he fired one of the spawn shots down there. Clearly he did, though. Goodbye. My Scottish sounds good. Yeah, thanks. I've been working on it for a few years. Hello, Shiro. Is there anyone here yet who can go check if you can do Kill Your Friends Halloween event in Dead by Daylight, so we know whether or not that's an option for Section 2? What is that? White Gwanstone. Kindles blanks. Is that an extra blank per floor or something? It's been a while. How many times have I been asked to yell freedom? Not at all. Given that was an American-Australian actor who shouted it. Hello Scrimbles as well. Sorry I missed that while I was reading something else. Welcome over from YouTube to Twitch. I can stop talking about it. It's one of those things where I do just want to keep talking about it because I don't know, travesties of justice need to be talked about to try and stop them happening again, because even if it makes one person stop and think, ah, maybe I'll get caught, so they don't do it. They're not doing it for good reasons, but at least they're still not... Oh. They're still not doing the bad thing, or the worst thing. Canadians don't have to worry about being Canadians for long. Are you saying that America is taking over Canada soon, or...? Oh wait, no, you mean they're all just going to be so high they don't care. Although honestly, as much as I do get mad about making a murderer, especially now I think the guy is innocent, it still doesn't compare to the anger of the character assassination of the guy from the staircase. Just playing into the homophobia of the state the case was in. That got my back up something fierce. Dead by Daylight Twitter states it starts at 2 PM Eastern Time. Oh, it's not on yet. I thought it was when the Steam Store updated, which would have been an hour before I go live usually. Well, in 10 minutes... Sorry, well yeah, 10 minutes, 8 minutes now. If someone could check on that and make sure that Dead by Daylight is okay. Oh. Huh. It's amazing that I got through that without getting hit. Can anyone remind me please what the turkey does? We've had it before, it's just I don't remember. And I don't want to press I because it's all the way over there. I had an update for Dead by Daylight before I went live. It was only like 30 meg though. So it didn't seem like updatey to me. That seemed more like hotfix or something. Hit 3 shots in a row and get an ammo. Oh, it's the bowling turkey. Yes, okay. I remember being mystified by that the first time. Uh oh. Yeah. Veteran that. Thank you. Oh, ammo too. I should probably get my boss kit. Where's the ammo? Ah, yeah. Should probably get that. No, that restore. No, that's it. Full. Because I picked up ammo after the boss. That's right. In that case, we'll just take it for the heroin. Is it me or are enemy shots a lot faster? No, shouldn't be. I don't have turbo mode on. It's all in your mind. Or I've just been playing a slower roguelike. My movement speed outside of rooms is faster, but that's because of the option they added from the Gungeons and Dragons update. Hello, Nightingale. I would imagine you have to hit an actual enemy for it to proc. I haven't been paying attention to my ammo count, and I don't think you can see it clearly because of the bit spin. It'd be nice if there was a different, like, visual indicator. No, no synergies. I mean, we have a lot of items that work together, but not in the proper sense of the word. I keep on thinking the turkey is going to block my shot. Goodbye. Feels like we're doing more damage. I guess the bin isn't very filled, so oh yeah, you can see the ammo. Let me see here. We haven't had anything. Okay. That's also probably the High Priest, so that's a bad get. Oops. Would have been rare if I took damage from an enemy spawning on me in this. Alright, what you got? Code 45. May as well get that just to see if there's a synergy. Oh, we have snowball bullets, so yeah, I think there is, and we've had it before. Thank you, Steer Mind, for the little bits. Are you trying to fill it on purpose so people can't see my ammo count? Or just lie and say that I've got full ammo all the time? The perfect crime. We still haven't found either item room though. Oh. Yeah, I guess I'll just use a key because we've got nothing else to do with them. What is this? Shock rounds, and it has synergized. Wave beam. Oh, is this going to be a case of like where I press R to change it or something? Oh yeah, there we go. Heroin wave beam. Ooh, it got bigger. Thank you to Slashmaster for the bits as well. Hang on. Didn't look like a wave to me, so I'm just going to assume more damage. Oh, now you're just being mean. Hello, mystery. See, now you can't see my ammo count. You've gone and done it. That must just be more damage because it's not doing anything. Oh no, there we go. Never mind, found it. You don't do charge shots. Although, you still really want to use charge shots. It was worth it! He killed his own ice friend. Thank you, Rico 12 for 17 months in a row with Twitch Prime. I hope this helps with the ammo. Oh, because it'll blow some of the bits out of the water. Did it? Like I said at the top of the stream as well, if anyone is feeling generous, I have now customized the gift subscription pop-up, assuming it works. Aims such as thee without dodge rolling. I've been firing a shot every so often, just a little bit too fast. We got something cursed. We got unlimited keys even though we don't need keys because we have the... Yeah, okay. Oh wait, no, yeah, that's just straight up skeleton key. I thought it was the AK-47, I was getting confused. Bait launcher, that's another good boss weapon. I'm honestly not sure what my best bet is if this is the High Priest. Occasional shot, well let's, I guess, see how much the heroin charge shots are doing when it's...
gift for you.
Yep, that'll do it. As well as filling this. Is that going to make Sora appear 10 times? Or is it just once? Okay, thank goodness it's just once. Thank you, Siak. No, it's not. It's 10 times. It is giant Sora, yes. She's like that dog that grows as big as a house. Thank you, Siakrin, for gifting 10 gift subscriptions randomly, presumably, to the stream. Alright, Sora now rules the stream. You can't see how much my ammo is, and you can't see me. Actually, it's kind of like she's playing, because I'm dead center of the screen, and so is she. Alright, it's going to be Sora versus the High Priest. Let's do this. Ooh, that is good damage. Come on, Sora. Fight the High Priest for me.
A gift for you.
Oh, she can't dodge, she's too big.
A gift for you.
How many has that been?
A gift.
Hello, Kensei.
For you.
We get to hear Hanzo a lot and see a giant version of my dog.
A A gift for you.
That's got to be like 7 now, right?
A gift for you.
Let's call that number 8. Get out of here.
A gift for you.
You're new to Twitch, what does a sub do? Well, you got gifted one, right? So now if you press the little smiley face in the chat window, you have access to all my emotes. You can use them in any Twitch chat, not just mine. Just don't spam them. You can enjoy them, and you'll have them for 30 days. Thank you, Kitty Boys, for the bits, and as well as Night and Quill. 200 bits, bet on Sora. Everyone loves heroin. Whatever do you mean? There. Yeah, we know what the synergy is because we've had it first with the snowball bullets. Yeah. Ice accumulation or something it said there. Sora dominating the High Priest may need to be a highlight on YouTube. Did I hear right that Twitch was extending that offer to change a gifted sub into a recurring normal sub, or is that only for like whenever, the start of the month? Either way, should you choose to, you can either then change it to a Twitch Prime sub, which is also free if you have Twitch Prime, and still retain the emotes. Or you can change it to a recurring one at one of 3 tiers, but that is obviously a monthly price thing. You also get included in voting for what I stream on Sundays, if you're a Twitch sub. I think the table might have saved me there. You don't have the option to change your gifted sub to a $1 sub? No. I did hear that they extended it, but it must not have been much more of an extension. Oh. Oh, goodbye, Chiro. Enjoy work. Or don't. I'm not your mother. Chat, I heard the new Halloween is actually pretty good. Because we were talking about that briefly yesterday. Well, not even briefly. It's always the Thor hammers. The unfair Thor hammers. Thank goodness we have nanomachines, son, to balance out the health that we shouldn't have lost. Oh, there's another wave. Do they have pepper screams in place of normal ones? What, in Halloween? Yeah, they contracted her on. Have 5 bits for getting to level 5. Thank you. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, it is level 5. Oh no, the blip face. I can't afford it anymore because I spent all my money on garbage. I don't think we'll be able to get to 100, but I'll try. This is the first time we've seen it since the first time we had it, which was on like the second run of Gungeons and Dragons we did. No, I jumped the wrong way. And the machines didn't kick in that time. I know that using the heroin would probably be better, but it does take a while to charge. Back to the pit. What are you belaying at? Are you being a vampire? Oh, there we go. I see the quote now. I kind of just tune Nightbot out. Please don't tell him that. I really hope I don't have to go through this room. Ah, crap. I have to go through this room. Yeah, just let me through. Thank you. Nanomachines. Let's pull the band-aid off. It won't hurt that much. We went very American with that there. We don't call them band-aids, we call them plasters. Why do we call them plasters when they're not made of plaster? I don't know. You can't even load Dead by Daylight? That is not a good start. Give it a second, it's probably just updating the new stuff. Think of it like when an Overwatch event launches. That was very silly. I forgot that we picked up a cursed item, that's why we're getting slightly more jammed enemies now. Mid-boss? Oh, key vendor. Too late to really matter, but thanks. Oh, I've got a lot of blanks. Apparently Dead by Daylight has a huge following. Well, a lot of people have voiced that they're happy I went back to it. Take that, belt buckle. I think it helps that we're just playing it amongst friends and not with randoms who are try-harding. Thank you, God of Rock 41 for 23 months in a row subscription. Welcome back. Carry on rocking. Back and forth. In your wheelchair because you're old. I really shouldn't insult new subscribers. Yeah, CDF 5 is out in December for PS4. Ghostbusters gun. No synergy. I don't think I've ever used this outside of a boss, so let's do that just for the hell of it. That better do extra damage to ghosts. It seems like it might. It died awfully fast. But it is also just a fairly powerful gun. Another blank. Oh, it's the white Guanstone making them spawn more often, isn't it? Let's see. Don't really care about the item rooms I missed. Hello, Magpie. Am I going to get it? I will be getting it on PS4, yeah, unless there's a PC version release announced before that. Let's take that instead. We didn't have enough for the dome face anyway. PC version should appear sometime in the next years. Yeah, I'm not willing to wait that long. I do just like going in with this. We've used this against Dragon fairly recently because I remember doing it, but I do like the Gunzang, or Gunzang, however the hell you say it. As it turns out, I never needed to switch to the drill. I could have stuck with the Molotov, not that the Molotov's particularly good, and had a spacebar option, because we had too many keys. I would have had, well, I've got 5 now, I would have had, what, 2 or 3 less if I'd opened all the chests that I'd used the drill on? Because I only use it 2 or 3 times tops, right? Or 1 or 2 times, I meant. Wow. Of course, the having shock effect on your bullets and frost effect is probably helping. Sorry, I had to reload my music. See you later, Hitman Jeff. Against phase 2, the heroine, maybe? Didn't even get to summon a single tiger. That's a slight disappointment. It's not very strong. Honestly, I think the Gungeon is probably still the best bet, but we'll just use this because it doesn't matter. It don't matter. Yeah, it's doing a fine job. You're being told you cannot collect any of the new event serum and kill your friends. Ah, it's so disappointing. Why did they do that? So you have to play ranked, basically. Or open games. Well, that means we can't do it then. Or we can, I mean we're physically able to, but why would you want to? I mean, I got the thinking. It's because they don't want you just going in with your friends and being like, okay, we'll quickly earn all this stuff as fast as possible. Just let us kill you, or whatever. Still a shame though, because it's just cosmetics at the end of the day, so who cares if they get it legitly or not. Let's see your mind. That was an acceptable run, although I got hit way too much. Yeah, not too bad. For people watching after the fact on YouTube, I hope you enjoyed and we'll see you next time. Ta for now.